in this space of like self-improvement or just like becoming a masculine man, it's often looked down to cry, to have emotions, to show emotions, because it's just a feminine thing to do. And there's basically two sides of masculinity nowadays, where it's this traditional masculinity where it's like this, like, oh, suck it up, you're a man, you can take it, don't show emotions, don't cry, that's girl shit, that's pussy shit. And then you get this other side where it's this more modern approach to masculinity, where it's almost too feminine, it's too feminizing, where it's like, yes, let it all out, cry whenever you need to, be emotional and all this shit. And honestly, they're both bullshit. They're both too far to one side. You want to find this happy medium where you can express your emotions, you can feel your emotions and accept that you do have those emotions, but also know when to do it at the right time and at the right place. Because, for example, you don't want to, in the middle of the workplace, just start bawling out for no, because your computer crashed twice, or at school because you failed a test, because what the fuck, like, you're not gonna give off that masculine energy when you're crying over something small. Now, again, if your mom's died or something, that's different, okay? That sort of situation is a little different, but typically that's not happening every day, and it's more likely that it's something that's just not that serious. Now, what I will say is that sometimes things accumulate. So maybe something on Monday happened, and then Tuesday, and then the week's just been a shit show, and it's all just kind of build up, and you're just really stressed, and you just want to let it out. Again, it's okay to let that out. It's okay to go to your room, close the door, and just have a good cry, man. Like, that's fine. It's fine to feel those emotions. It's fine to accept that you're sad, that you're overwhelmed. You just don't do it in front of your whole classroom or in front of your girlfriend or something. It has to be with either by yourself or with someone who's actually going to be there for you, who genuinely cares about you, and who's actually going to support you. So in my case, it's my mom, because she's always been like super emotionally healthy, and she's always taught me to be. And so I basically, all I know about this topic is basically from her. But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people's moms just can't be that for them, and so you wouldn't cry in front of your mom because you're just gonna make her worried. Sometimes you don't get the luxury of having someone, and that's just the thing about being a man. Sometimes you have to like face it on your own, but you have to accept that it's there. You have to accept that you are sad and that did hurt you and that you are upset. It's fine. That's normal, and it's okay to cry about it. And it's okay to let that stuff out. If you want to get scientific about it, crying is literally, it's scientifically proven to be healing, because when you do cry, it basically lets these feel-good hormones like oxytocin and these endorphins into your brain, which basically relieves tension and stress. And so crying is literally healing you in that moment. And now what you don't want to do is spend the whole night crying and the next day crying and the whole week crying. Like, no, come on, man. Like, that's ridiculous. You want to have a moment to cry and let yourself fully feel the emotion. But eventually, you got to do something, right? So let's say a girl broke your heart. Let's say you guys were going out and you were actually starting to really like this girl. You started to fall in love. And then she just tells you, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like this can make it. I don't really feel like the connection anymore, and we're done. You're crushed. You're hurt. And so the traditional masculine would be like, oh, I don't care. Like, there's so many more women. Who cares? Even though you're really hurt, you're just going to lie to yourself and say that you're not. And so what happens there is that you bottle up the emotion, and when you really should have just been honest and said, hey, I am sad. I'm going to feel sad. I'm going to be sad for a day, maybe a week, maybe a month. But it's okay, right? It's okay to be sad. Now, again, the other side would be, I'm going to cry about it for a day and a month and a year. Like, I'm never going to get over her. I'm going to see her and cry every day. Every time I see her, I'm going to cry, stuff like that. So again, that's ridiculous too. And so what you want to find is like the medium where you accept that you're sad, but you let it out, and then you start to build again. You start to keep going. You keep going on with your life. You keep trotting on, because what else is there to do? You can't just let yourself die just because a girl doesn't like you, or because you failed your semester test, your midterm, your final test, whatever it may be. You can't let yourself just let yourself die, because you're a masculine man. You get up in the face of defeat and you just keep trotting on. That's what we do. That's what we are. And so when people tell you to, when people try to like bring you to one side or the other, it's asinine. It's ridiculous. It's bananas to say the least, because you just have to find that medium. That happy medium is going to bring you the best quality of life that you could probably ever experience. I remember I used to be so emotional, and I used to and that was bad, because I would treat others badly. I would let it out on my mom. I was really upset about something, and I would just cry about it all the time, and I would cry to my girlfriend at the time, and I was just very feminine in my way. I had no sort of backbone. I wasn't a man, and that really affected me mentally, because I wanted to be a man. I'm coming of age, like I want to be a man, and I was acting like the opposite. And so as I went through self-improvement, at the beginning, I found like this red pill where it's like, oh no, like I don't feel emotions. And so the opposite happened, where I began to neglect my emotions. I began to push them to the side and say, no, I don't feel like that. Like I don't even care about her. I don't even care about that girl for real, even though I really do. And so that messed me up too, because I wouldn't feel my emotions. I would not feel my emotions. I'd neglect my emotions, and then I would let them out whenever I got like too angry or overwhelmed. I'd let them out on someone who did not deserve it, and sometimes it would be even my mom. And I hate myself for having done that to her, because of course she wasn't at fault, but it was because of my own my own consumption of like this red pill of this negative approach to feelings, and basically pushing them all away, that I ended up taking it out on people, or on someone who didn't deserve it. And so eventually I learned to find the happy medium. I found like this combination of the two, where yes, I let myself be sad, but I also don't let myself die and drown in it. I'm gonna pick myself up, dust myself off, and keep trotting on, because that's what we do. That's the real masculine. The real masculine essence is that. It's feeling what you feel authentically. Feel it, go through it, accept it, and then just keep going on. That's it. That's the name of the game. And if you want your life quality to improve, to skyrocket, you better start working on finding that happy medium. Don't forget to smile, bro. Peace.